Is the mayor of the city of Jackson, Daniel Mahoney. Hi, Daniel.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Have you warmed up from Friday's parade?
Barely. It was a brisk one out there, but it was worth it. We had a phenomenal time. We had such a good time.
I can't remember a Christmas parade that has had a float with the mayor. This was the first.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. I'll tell you that much. My girls, super proud of them. So they own a business. Don't know if you knew that or not. It's called Sister Smoothies, where they make fresh fruit smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, they earned enough money to buy themselves a food cart. So we've had this food cart since, about maybe February of last year. Mm-hmm. They bought it, and it's been such a busy year. I haven't had a chance to paint it and update it to fit their business yet. But the model that we have right now with running the business works great. So they've been really patient with me. But they were like, we want to be in the parade this year. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, well, let's put an idea together. And we used their cart and decorated it and had a good time. It was a lot of fun. But it was freezing cold out. Man, it was so cold.
So what is their cart? What do they sell on their cart?
They sell smoothies.
Oh.
Yeah, fresh fruit smoothies.
Yeah. Not a popular item on Friday night.
Probably not.
It wouldn't have been. I know you weren't selling them, but it was just hot beverages was everyone was, and there were a lot. We had a lot of great places for hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's what we had with us, a big thermal of nice warm hot chocolate.
On last Wednesday, the group violence intervention program for the city of Jackson and JPD gave away turkeys. What's the idea behind that?
I haven't spoke to them much about it, except to tell them thank you for doing it, because it was completely their idea. Cheryl, the person who has that program, the gun violence intervention program, teamed up with the city police department and gave away a bunch of turkeys for Thanksgiving. It was just in my mind, a way for them to connect with the community on a different level. I mean, most times when our police department is connecting with the community, it's usually at one of the worst moments in somebody's day at minimum. Sometimes it's the worst moment of their life. So the more opportunities we have to connect with people on a more personal level and provide a service and provide a necessary item to them, I think the better, creating those relationships.
We're coming up on an anniversary, your anniversary as the mayor.
Yeah, 1 year. 1 year has flown by. It has gone by really quick.
So at this point, you've had a year under belt. What do you look at as things that you're proud of or that you've accomplished?
Well, I haven't lost any more hair than I was already losing. It hasn't increased in the rate of loss. I got a few more gray hairs in my beard than I had when I first started, but not too many. And I'm still smiling. I think that the big thing for me is as long as I'm enjoying the work, enjoying something doesn't mean that you're always happy. Doesn't mean that every single moment is happy or every day is a great day. It means that you meet the challenges, both negative and positive, with the same amount of energy. And I think that I've done that. And as long as that's the case, and as long as the people want me here, I'll be here.
Is there anything that surprised you that during the course of your mayorship that, I didn't know the mayor had to do this, or, I get to do this?
I'll tell you the biggest thing that surprised me is that I have the authority to marry somebody.
Have you done that yet?
I have. Shout out to Lexi and Mr. Bruce, who I married this summer, and the person who actually brought this to my attention is actually my best friend of 35 years, 36 years. Called me and said, hey, I know I asked you to be in my wedding, but I was thinking, since you're the mayor now, maybe you can just marry us. His wedding's coming up. And I said, Brian, I don't know if I can do that or not. Let me call you back. And I looked into it, and that's a part of my authority as a mayor. All mayors in the state of Michigan have the authority to marry someone inside the county that they are the mayor of.
Oh, wow. So the phrase, the power vested to me by the authority of the state of Michigan, that you have it now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
That's probably been the most surprising thing. Everything else has not been a surprise, I'll be honest.
I did appreciate seeing you at so many community events and activities. You've been a very involved mayor in your first year. Been busy. Toll on your personal life?
It's a part of my personal life. This is very personal to me. But my family and I make sure that we have dedicated family time. Sometimes it overlaps, like Friday. That was family time to us. I was explaining to Rose Tripp that we haven't missed a holiday parade, a Christmas parade in many years. On the coldest nights, we've been out there with blankets and warm drinks, and that's something that we've always looked forward to. So this year, to be able to not just be there but be in the parade was a big moment for our family in general. And for me, one thing I said I wanted to make sure I'm doing is being accessible. One of the things, and I'm not sure how many of the listeners and viewers may know this, but when you look up the phone number to the mayor's office, it doesn't go to a voicemail. It goes directly to my cell phone number, because it is my cell phone number. I don't have 2-3 phones that I operate. I've got one phone number for everything. And I just want to make sure that I'm accessible to people. Our mayor in the city of Jackson isn't a full-time job. It's full-time work. But when you got a family of 7 to provide for, you got to have a couple additional streams of income. So with me working, I'm not in the office 24/7, but I want to be available 24/7 for when people have issues, when people have complaints about things or things they need me to help address. I want to make sure I'm accessible. So my cell phone's available. People contact me all kinds of ways. Facebook, Facebook Messenger, my political page on Facebook, my cell phone number, text message, email. So communication, I need to be accessible in all ways and be able to communicate with people in the way that they best see fit, that works best for them. So being accessible and being present and visible is something that I think is extremely important.
And that parade, by the way, wasn't the coldest. Ed Hatfield, parade organizer, who has been doing this for 31 years, said, we've had colder, we've had warmer. So for the spirit, with snow falling and snow on the ground and cold weather, it was Christmassy, which is what you want for a parade.
That's right.
All right, next up, the Thanksgiving holiday. What's Thanksgiving like for the Mahoneys?
This year's going to be at my house. Always look forward to Mom cooking. Holidays, I can cook. I can cook really well, but nothing beats Mom's home cooking, So I'm looking forward to fellowshipping with my family. We're pretty competitive. Probably get into a little bit of Monopoly, some Uno. A couple other board games that we like to play around the house, and probably play a few hands of spades, and just have a good time, enjoy some food together, watch the Lions and kick back and enjoy some family time.
Is there a food item that's critical to your enjoyment?
Critical food item. I will give you one savory, one sweet. Got to have some sweet potato pie. Thanksgiving ain't Thanksgiving without sweet potato pie. Very similar to pumpkin pie, just not quite the same. And probably the dressing. That's the biggest thing. My wife would say my mom's potato salad.
Potato salad on Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Okay, so what for the next year, the second half of your term, what are you hoping to work on, accomplish? What's on your agenda?
So this first half of the term has really been a lot of learning. Coming over from the county side, I had some experience in that world of government.
Sure.
But of course, our county government is different than our city government. So to me, I'm an active learner. So I've learned on the job what those differences are and adjusted as quickly as possible. I feel like I've done a lot of work on like finalizing some work that was already hanging in the balances of city council, and working on some things. And now I'm transitioning over this next 3-month period to move into some of the initiatives that I look to start and finish in the next year. One huge thing would be around trying to create a sustainability plan for us in the space of sustainable energy sources outside of the norm for the community. I think that's something important for us to pay attention to as a community. Of course, continuing to work on the issue of violence in the community. According to the chief's, according to the chief's last update, our crime rates have reduced. But of course, the work isn't done until the crime rates have reduced all the way to zero, because any crime in the community is intolerable. But that's a working issue right there that, again, takes more than just myself to work on. So that's another issue that I think is going to be super important. And also just continuing to support where I can some of the other initiatives that are happening around the community with the new housing that's coming in, finalizing details on the Hayes Hotel, finalizing details and seeing through the build out of the commercial kitchens at the Masonic Temple, and other things that are going to elevate the community, the Greenwood Project for housing, the Blackstone Project for housing, and seeing those projects through to make sure that they actually start breaking ground. Looking forward to seeing the final project at the Loomis Park and how that's going to look. I don't know if you've rode past there recently or not.
I vote there, so I saw it. Walked right through the construction to vote.
Yeah. It's already such a hugely different view from the street to be able to see straight across, to see the building. And, just seeing that work continue. There's of course, some other park projects coming up. And I'm just looking to do as much as possible in the time that I have.
Yeah, so, housing is an issue because we do have a shortage of affordable housing.
We do.
I think in the last city council meeting there was quite a few folks speaking about homelessness, and there's varying opinions, I would say, on to what the problem is in the community. So I think that has to be defined first, because it's not clear if or what the problem is.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Well, I think so. When it comes to homelessness, there's different types of homelessness, right? You have chronic homelessness, and you have transitional housing homelessness issues. And with us having a shortage of housing availability and affordable housing, the biggest thing that's going to tell the tale is data. I mean, everything in government, every decision that we make, or what we try to base our decision make off of, is what the data tells us. Because the data will tell us what the trends look like and what we need to be doing, where we have housing shortages at, the types of housing that we actually need. And that's what the Affordable Housing Commission has been working on. They've got a presentation that has all that data in it, that I believe should have been emailed to us already for our review. The most immediate issue that we're working on right now is working on like emergency shelter homelessness housing. I mean, it is, as we talked about on Friday, it's super cold outside right now. And to me, I feel like while it is not solely the city of Jackson government's responsibility to fix the housing problem, to fix homelessness, if we have resources that we can dedicate to helping the issue, then we have an obligation and a responsibility to do so. What I would like to see us do is try to address that most immediate need, because I don't want to see people outside on our street corners, housed in behind buildings, in between buildings, on sidewalks over the winter time. This is just too dangerous of a climate that we live in to allow people to just live out on the streets right now. So there's some proposals on the table that we're considering right now, and hopefully something that we can actually make a determination on within our next meeting, because the longer we draw out making a decision, the worse the weather is going to be and the harder it's going to be to implement something that will have an impact immediately on the lives of those individuals who are right now actively on the streets of our city.
All right. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, and same to everybody else in Jackson.
The mayor of the city of Jackson, Daniel Mahoney. Well, stay tuned.